Hi, my name is Ruxandra, and I was more involved in the creating of the story. The first attempt to make this project was unsuccessful because we didn't pay attention to the assignment description. But we were lucky enough to talk to Julio, who made us realize that we need to have a story for young adults, not children as we thought the first time. We did keep a part of the inspiration as our characters' origin are the Powerpuff Girls and the Minions movie. Our story focused on following the narrative curve of the storyline and also the fact that the animation should attract young adults interested in art. Story of our animation starts with a focus on the good characters that are having fun and dancing in the club. We have 3 girls as good characters. They were inspired by the Powerpuff Girls in design and also in their attitude. While they're having fun in the club, they hear evil laughter from outside. They go outside and they meet the villain that wants to start a fire at the local museum. The villain is the evil character of the story. He's inspired by Gru from the Minions. He will start a fire at the museum. The girls will put out the fire with their superpower, which is the water ball. They will also kill the villain with their pink power, which is the high heel power. After they put out the fire and kill the villain, a statue of their pink power, the high heel, shows up next to the museum to show forever gratitude that they saved the building.
Hi, my name is Andrea and I was more involved to create the storyboard and diagram. The storyboard contains 4 scenes and they are described like this. The first page of the storyboard contains the first 2 scenes of the story. Those scenes have dramaturgic elements and interactive elements, so the user is presented with the good characters. The girls are dancing in a club, they are having fun until they hear the evil laughter of the bad guy. The user can interact by clicking on red hair girl and she'll take a selfie, the beam box and the music will change, the door to exit when they hear the evil laughter. The background is club related, so we use a picture with shades of people and also lights, as in a club. The music was selected by 2 main characteristics: suitable for pop art style and catchy for young adults. The second page of the storyboard refers to the moment that all the characters meet. The scene takes place outside the club, in front of the local museum. When the girls arrive outside, they see the bad guy who is putting fire to the museum. Before putting the fire, he screams, "I will burn this museum." If the user clicks the fire, then the brunette girl will put down the fire with her superpower, water ball. After the fire is off, then they can kill the villain by clicking on him. The brunette girl throws the pink ball, high heel power, and kills him. To end the story, the user must click the sun and then the whole scene turns to night mode and a huge statue of a high heel shows up next to the museum. And the girls are happy and dancing. The sequence diagram is based on the storyboard and the events that are happening in our story. So, if the user accesses the page with the sequence diagram, he can actually follow the narrative line of the story. The user can also see the Easter eggs that he will meet during his experience on the animation.
Hi, my name is Alin and I was working as a designer during this project. I've created the Personas College and also the video for screencast documentation. Also the sounds were still in my field of work. I've inspired myself for the Personas College from my personal life and I barely think that the pictures that I've chosen have perfectly reflects young adults' life. During the edit of the song, I was helped by Ruxandra Sandru, a teammate of our group. The first song, it's an old one with the title Femme Fatale, which was sang by Velvet Underground Band. The second song is a Romanian club song. The name of it's Dubai, which was sang by Shatra Benz. We've cut all of these songs because it was easier to integrate them to the project. For me, this experience was amazing because I was able to train my group working and also my socializing skills.
Hi, my name is Luca. I made the character designs and the sprites. I created the 3 girls who were inspired by the Powerpuff Girls. I made them dance, run, make a selfie and throw water bubbles. The hard part was to design them to fit the pop art style, but also they had to be easy to work with. At the time I was creating the sprites, so I used dots as a pattern and vivid colors. I also made a villain who was inspired by Gru. I made him burn the museum and also to die in the end. I used Photoshop for creating the fire and the flame-throwing element, Illustrator for creating the characters, and InDesign to make the sprites.
Hi, my name is Yasmina and I did a peer review. How I did it? Well, I wrote those 6 questions on the paper. I chose 2 people from different groups. I showed them the storyboard and then they answered the questions based on the storyboard. They were alone, so they couldn't ask me anything about the storyboard or something else. After that, I talked with them and they told me their general impression. Besides this, I drew and painted the museum and the outside background for both day and night in Illustrator.
Hi, my name is Valentin and I handle the coding and some elements of object design. I will start with what objects I draw, although my main focus was on the coding part. All the elements I did are done in Illustrator. In HTML, I started with preloading the animations and some of the images so the page won't have trouble with loading them when JS functions will change the background of the divs. Then I had to make 2 separate divs, one containing all the elements and the other one is containing the buttons that lead you to the Personas College, storyboard and sequence diagram. Both divs have the same width and different height. I've given every div an ID so I can declare it in JS, and some of the elements have an initial class. In JavaScript, I've started with declaring all the variables that were going to be affected by the changes inside it. I also declared 3 new variables that have the initial value as false, but that will be changed in some functions to true, and if some functions notice they are true, they will do different things than usual. I had to do this since there are multiple ways an user can interact with the scene, and some of them were just overlapping and making the elements not work anymore. I had to add 2 initial event listeners, with the rest of them coming through timeout functions or through the events that will happen from the initial 2. I couldn't say I felt really challenged by the project, because besides 3 or 4 things I had to improvise, most of the things I just had to copy and paste them and make them do different things.